Hi guys, it's Candy here, and I wanted to just show you my little corner in my bedroom, my little tarot desk in my bedroom. I'm not going to pan around because the rest of the bedroom's atrocious and there's dogs everywhere. But yeah, I've just been having a little rejig. I've put the mirror at the back here because it didn't really fit there, and I've put a canvas there. So I've swapped these two around. And I wanted to show you my little handmade bunting that I've done. Now, for those of you that watched the live with Queen Auset, which is on her channel, Oya's Girl Tarot, when the tarot community got together to discuss healing and racism and how to move forward with healing, Queen Auset used a set of cards called the Tarot Cards of Tech. Now, they're not really tarot cards. What they are is they're product development cards. Don't look too close. You can see I attempted to print them out from phone pictures. So, but anyway, these are just tiny little versions of these cards. Like I was saying, they are design development cards that pose some really fascinating questions for people involved in product development or any sort of creativity. And Queen Auset suggested that the creators within the community could keep a thought for these questions in their mind for moving forward, so that we're living in the type of world we want to live in, but also for content creators. Now, I've shared these cards on my Instagram before, but I wanted to print some out to use in some of my deck walkthroughs. I was trying to think of a way to actually do it. Now, it's taken me a while to do it because my printer ran out of ink and I couldn't find a shop that had the right ink cartridges in. So finally I've got my printer up and working, just about. So I've printed out a full set here. I am going to put my camera up on the stand up here, and I say camera as if I'm fancy. You all know I mean my mobile phone. Anyway, I am going to put my phone on the stand and turn it round to show you the printed out deck and the way it works and what I've been thinking about using it with deck reviews. But I just wanted to show you the little ones I printed out as bunting, just to always have it in front of me and keep it in my mind. Right, so let me sort my phone out. Okay, so the Tarot Cards of Tech. They're completely free. I'll put a link to the website where you get them from down below in the description box. But what you have to do, you have to print them out. I'm going to go through them and show them you. So on one side you've got a character or an archetype. So this is the catalyst. And then on the back you have some information about the catalyst and some questions to pose about any products that you might be designing or creating or reviewing. So the catalyst, it says, how might cultural habits change how your product is used, and how might your product change cultural habits? What context would an alien from outer space need to use or understand your product? What social norms, etiquette or traditions could change because of your product? So although I seem to have lost the ability to speak, you can see that they are posing some really, really interesting questions. So you've got the super fan. So how would a community of your most passionate users behave? So this is for the super fan. What rules of engagement does your product rely on, and how might these be subverted? In what ways might the community be an asset? In what ways might it become a liability? If your product involves discourse, what does positive and negative communication look like? So each card is really opening up a deep well of conversations. So the best friends forever. If two friends use your product, how could it enhance or detract from their relationship. So it's talking about conflict with this one. How does your product change or create new ways for people to interact? Does your product fill or change a role previously filled by a person? And then you've got the big bad wolf. So what could a bad actor do with your product? What would predatory and exploitative behaviour look like with your product? What product features are most vulnerable to manipulation? And what could be targeted with your product? The forgotten, this one's really interesting, especially considering the conversation that was had when I first heard about these cards. So when you picture your user base, who is excluded? I think this is really pertinent for our tarot community. If they used your product, what would their experience be like? Whose perspective is missing from product development? Pretend the opposite of your assumptions about your core user are true. How does that change your product? This is the main card. So this the tarot cards of tech. This is the logo. I love the logo. You can see my printer's playing up. This is why it's taken me a while to sort this. But I quite like that. I quite like the stripy. It's supposed to be solid yellow, but it isn't. So it's saying the artifact created the tarot cards of tech to help creators of all kinds consider the impact of their technology. Each card contains provocations that will not only help you foresee unintended consequences, but also reveal opportunities for creating positive change. Take the tarot cards of tech to your next brainstorm or team meeting to gaze into the future and better understand the potential impact of your products. So it's about looking at the consequences of the products that we're creating or even that we're buying and using. And I just think they're brilliant. So quickly, I'll just flick through the rest of them. You've got the smash hit, which talks about what happens if 100 million people use your product. You've got the service dog, which I quite like the fact my printer is playing up there. If your product was entirely dedicated to empowering the lives of an underserved population, what kind of impact could you make? Just such good questions. The radio star, who or what disappears if your product is successful? The scandal, what's the worst headline about your product you can imagine? Mother Nature, if the environment was your client, how would your product change? The backstabber, what could cause people to lose trust in your product? And the siren, what would using your product too much look like? So these are the tarot cards of tech. I think to use every single question and every single angle of viewing something, if I was doing, say, a tarot deck review, it would just take forever. But I do think it's important to start putting some of these questions into the dialogue we're having as content creators. If we want to see the system changed, if we want to see more inclusivity, if we want to if we want to see environmental issues taken on board, if we want people not to be forgotten, you know, if we want an underserved population to be represented, if we want the forgotten not to be forgotten anymore, if we want inclusivity, these are great questions to include. Queen Auset showed them on that live and I thought it was fascinating. So I've printed them out. I've got my bunting in front of me to remind me. Also, I got this little tin and I've been through my art collection and I found like beads. Oh gosh, sorry, that was so noisy. You know, I found like felt balls and beads and different things, like sequins, all in the colours that match these cards. And I thought I could do some charm casting when I'm doing a tarot deck. you know, I can either pick a question that just jumps out that I want to answer, or I could charm cast into a box and see which beads land within a designated area, and choose a question based on that. So these are my tarot cards of tech charms. So there's different things in here. I need to make a little box to be able to throw them into so they don't roll away and disappear over the carpet. But I'm trying to find a way of using these cards so I'm not so they don't become burdensome, but they become really useful. I believe in charm casting, I believe in the tarot, I believe that I could cast these beads to give me the correct colour for the correct question to ponder. I think other times I'm going to have to do it differently and just choose a question. But I do want to start trying to use these cards within my product reviews and just within my content, really. I just think there needs to be some practical application of the advice we were given. And as a content creator myself, I know I'm a small content creator, but I think there is a responsibility to heed and put into action the advice of people who have a lived experience of oppression that we can't even fathom. So these are the tarot cards of tech. If you see these come out on my channel for deck reviews, or you see me posing these questions, you now know what they are. I'll leave links if you wanted to print out a set by your set for yourself, which I really highly recommend you do. And it would just be nice to see these questions being posed more online. Yeah, so my little tin of charms to go with my new handmade tarot cards of tech. All right, thanks guys, and I will see you again next time. Bye.